Hi folks, nice to see you back. I'm going to sort of talk through what makes Blackjack a special game really. If you think of other casino games, probably the two other popular casino games are roulette and craps. And Blackjack is right up there with them. I think roulette, I think it's ahead of roulette and craps slightly in the world's takes. And we're talking about billions of dollars being staked on these games every year. So it is very important. And the difference between blackjack and roulette and craps, for example, is that there's an element of skill in blackjack, and that skill element is what attracts to me as a game, whereas roulette and craps and even lotteries and keno and things really don't interest me because there's no decision making that's meaningful in the games other than how much of your money to lose really. Whereas blackjack has the opposite, and it is great fun to sort of play the game and play well and win. And even to play well and lose is still satisfactory. You know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth when you play. And I was going to sort of just do one or two deals here really, and sort of think of how people play, and really what my thinking would be when I'm playing blackjack, and what other people's thinking may well be, and the mistakes that sort of people make. So I will deal a set of hands here. So we've got 5 players at the table, which is typical. In a casino you would find that there were 5 players playing, and we can remember some of our basic rules. And the dealer's got an ace. Okay, now the dealer asks people whether they want insurance, and people either always say no, or always say yes. And there are the intelligent people that actually calculate whether or not they should. And there's a nice simple rule for 5 players here, which is if there are 2 tens on the table, more than 2 tens on the table, you shouldn't take insurance. And if there's 2 or fewer, you should. And in this example, there's only 1 10 on the table, this one here. And the player should take insurance. But I bet you if I was in a casino, there would be people who'd almost really ignore the dealer and not really look at the cards and decide whether to take insurance. But it's a little known fact that the number of 10s on the table dictates the chances of this card being a 10. And yet it's simple maths, really. It's if the 10s are not on the table, they're more likely to be hidden behind that ace. And that's a fact of life. So the players have to bet half of the stake, and this person would have to change his 50 in order to do the bet, and the dealer would do that very quickly for him. He still needs to put 25 down. This person would put another 5 if they wanted to. This person says they don't want insurance. This person decides they don't want insurance either. He's going to split his pair of 7s, possibly foolishly. And this person decides that they will have insurance. So he has to get his stake ready, and he changes money. Insurance is a bit of a nuisance because they have to change money in order to put the bet on. And now at this point, the dealer turns over the card. I don't know what the dealer's got. The dealer does have a blackjack. So that's the end of the hand. These people get their money back. They're the intelligent ones that these people lose their money. And this person gets his money back. So there you see the difference between the thinkers who put an insurance bet on and those who didn't. And I think it's a bit like that in life generally, where an insurance bets are sort of sensible. It's very sensible to have holiday insurance that covers cancer, but not so meaningful to have it covering a cancellation of the flight. But anyway, that's a good example of a hand there where people took different decisions, and some of them were right and some of them were wrong. But the ones that were right there were the ones who took insurance. We'll do one more deal just to sort of think through the decisions that one has to make. Now, the dealer's got a 10, which is very bad. Now in Britain, as I said before, the dealer looks to see if they've got blackjack. You can't bet on insurance when the dealer's got a 10, because the chances, 2 to 1 would be terrible odds, or the chances of that being an ace. So the dealer peeks here carefully, and the dealer doesn't have blackjack. Okay, right, so now this is soft 19, which is 9 or 19. So a lot of people take, I've seen people double down with this, hoping to get a 2, which is ridiculously wasting money, or hoping that they get a 10, and that they have 19 anyway. But the right play for this hand is standard. If you look at the strategy chart, which we have on an earlier video, which you can still access, then you will see that when you look up soft 19 against a 10, the correct action is stand. A lot of people think they can't take a card because they're going to bust. Their philosophy is completely wrong. They're choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea, and they're choosing wrongly. And here they should take a card, because they're much more likely to get an improvement than they are to get a 10. There's only 4 10s, 10 Jack, Queen, King, and there are 9 other cards that don't bust. So they should try to improve the hand by taking a card. And they've got 14. And again, the same principle applies. They've got 7 cards that would help them and 6 that won't. So they should take a card. And they've improved now. Now they should stop and should stand. 10, 12, 14, 18 against a 10. They may still be losing, but they are more likely to lose if they take a card. So they stand. Usually some sort of movement like that. Same hand, 12, he takes a card and he busts, so that one's gone. Often turned over either like that or like that. It varies from casino to casino. We'll do it this way. That one's bust. 16 against a 10. This is quite a close decision. Now a counter, somebody who's counted all of the cards that were left, would know whether it was right or wrong. And it's usually very, very close between hitting and standing. 16 against a 10 is one of the closest decisions in blackjack. The computer gets it right every single time. It knows exactly what's gone, how many 5s there are to make a 21. And the way that somebody might approach it is to remember how many 5s are gone. If there's no 5 gone, you should hit it always, because there's a chance of getting 21. If several 5s have gone, you should stand. And that's a big part. Small cards as well play a part in that they can get 20 and 19 and 18. But this person decides to hit because he hasn't seen any 5s. And he's bust, so that one's bust as well. 17 against a 10. Again, I've seen people hit this, which is stupid. There's only 4 cards, 1, 2, Ace, 2, and 3, and 4 that'll help, and 9 cards that'll bust the hand. So he decides to stand. He's a bit more clued up. So we haven't put the stakes on. We should have done that before. So that's the end of the play, and now the dealer turns over her hand. She's got 15. So people think, well, why didn't I stand? But they shouldn't think that way, because had the dealer had a different card, their play would have been correct. Now the dealer's odds on to bust. I think he's going to bust about 60% of the time, something like that. 16, still going to bust quite a lot of the time. Remember, dealer must draw to 16. You see here. So dealer has to draw a card to 16 and has bust. So these players who played well, or everybody played well there, because I played for them essentially, and they took the right decisions. And this player would have won, this player would have won, this player lost because he bust even though the dealer bust as well. This player lost even though the dealer bust, and this player won. So overall, the table was about level, I think, maybe a little bit up, because it won the 50s. So there we have it. We have an example of 5 players. In each case, I was playing for them with a bit of tuition. They weren't using any assistance from any computer, but they were using my knowledge of what the right strategy was. And in every case, there is perfect play. We had an example here with 16 against a 10, where I would have needed a computer to know for sure which was right, and I applied some general rules. But that's what you want to do in blackjack if you want to win. and that's to apply the general rules with discipline. I hope you enjoy the game.